Good morning, welcome back to the Spirit of Scotland 1314 on this beautiful, stunning, fresh spring morning. This morning I'm going to take you to a special place that was synonymous with the Battle of Bannockburn and to have a wee discussion about its importance and what perhaps you think we should do to help preserve it. It's a great wee place. So come and join me as we have a look. We're going to take a walk down Route 76, which is a cycle and pathway which runs for a considerable distance, but this particular piece runs between Stirling and Fillin, and lying directly adjacent to it is a place of special significance. Let me take you there. So this is the Route 76, and I'm walking it in the direction between Stirling towards Fillin, and adjacent to me on my right hand side is the old Paul May's colliery, where shafts 1 and 2 were sunk many years ago, and it is now an abandoned scrubland. And it's to there that I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you around to the front of there and show you why this is significant to the Battle of Bannockburn battlefield, particularly Day 2 area of the battlefield. It's a stunning spring morning. I hope you can pick up the bird song through this little microphone. You might just pick up some of the agricultural work of the cows and the sheep on my left hand side here. It's a stunning morning. I'm excited to show you the potential for this area with regards to telling our story of the Battle of Bannockburn. The Route 76 road that I'm taking is the old railway line that used to run between Fillin and the Paul May's colliery here. The remnants of that colliery are still here, as you can see. And on the right hand side, which you'll see better once we get round there, are the remnants of the colliery Bing. As I say, it's now been reduced to some artists making use of the local canvas. It's now been reduced to a knoll, a kind of scrubland area. We're going to go round to the front where you get some magnificent views across the Day 2 area of the Battle of Bannockburn. We'll have a wee discussion. I think it's incredibly important that we preserve our ancient heritage and history. It's what effectively makes us what we are. And I'm always interested to get your views and comments. So if you've been following me, please like and subscribe. Share our content so that we can get others in the story. Because the more we get the story out there, the more likely we are that we can get a bit more preservation of what is left of the battlefield. So I'm just turning down this beautiful access to the field. I hope you can hear the spring birds singing through this small microphone. Hope you can hear it over and above the the traffic on the A91 anyway, to my left hand side here. we're just coming up to the field shortly. So here we are on the opposite side of the old Paul May's colliery bing. We're just coming up to the flanks of what is left of the bing that was once here, and it's well believed that before that there was a natural raised area of ground here, a natural knoll down on the flat karstlands, where it is believed that King Edward II of England, when he came up to fight Robert the Bruce at Bannockburn, this is where it is believed he camped out. And I have to say, I fully concur with that. This is a very special area. Let me just show you. Here in front of you, you're just beginning to see the flanks of the wooded knoll area. And once we get to the front of it, I'll give you a better view of just exactly where we are. Well, it's not often that you need to take your jacket off in Scotland in the middle of April, but we've been blessed by an absolutely glorious day. So if you're not from these parts, if you're in foreign shores, welcome to Scotland on this glorious mid-April morning. It's absolutely stunning. So as I was saying, behind us here we have an area down on the karstlands where day 2 of the Battle of Bannockburn took place. It is a naturalised raised area on which the Paul May's colliery bing was deposited, and that has been cut back down, and we're back down to roughly the natural state that the place used to be in. And why is that significant? Well, this is the area, as I said, where King Edward II of England set up camp for day 2 of the Battle of Bannockburn. We know that because in the Scala Chronica they tell us it came down onto an area adjacent to the front of the fort, onto the flat lands which were a bit wet and marshy, and they sought out some drier parts of that. Now in the knoll here, it would be a prime area for the English king to have a raised vantage point so that he could scan his camp all around and also scan for the Scots coming down trying to make a surprise attack. So the whole area that we're in here is integral to day 2 of Scotland's most significant battle ever, the Battle of Bannockburn, 1314. Let me just show you a quick look around. It's difficult to see on the wee action camera, but it'll give you a rough perspective of where we are and just how special and beautiful this place is. There we see the wooded knoll, which was a naturalised raised area on the karst, and you can see that in some of the older maps. And as I spin around here, we are pointing roughly southwards, and in the middle of the camera, you won't see it, I'm quite sure, but the National Bannockburn Heritage Centre is in that direction, probably about a mile away, and that's where day 1 of the battle, roughly in that area where day 1 of the battle took place. Beyond the communication mast there is the main Stirling Railway, and as I spin around on the flat karst, you can see how ideal this would be for a battle, especially for the English who had come down with around 2,000 heavy cavalry, and they are flanked on either side by 2 burns, the Bannockburn in this direction, which unfortunately we're looking into the sunshine here, but just beyond the A91, the modern A91 there, is the Bannockburn. Fresh water, which would be required for the men and the horses, the oxen that were pulling the carts. And over to my right is the Pelstream burn. So they considered that they were quite well protected here on both flanks by the 2 burns and safe from surprise attacks. At the crack of dawn in the morning, the 24th of June, the Scots came down from this direction, surprising the English, and actually used the burns as an aid to trap them and pushed them back, congesting them into this area. And it became such a congested area, and the Scots pushed on, and the English panicked, fled, and a rout took place, and a famous victory was had for Robert the Bruce and his Scottish army. Now this is a great place to come and visit. Beyond the Bing here, we've already got public access with the walkway, the Route 76 walkway, and people can come round the back of the Bing. But there is nothing to bring you around to the front to see where the actual battle and part of the route took place. And also when you come down here, there are no interpretation boards to give you the story of the battle, and there is nothing to aid either locals or visitors to tell you about the battle. And also, despite the fact that we've got the National Bannockburn Heritage Centre up where day 1 was, on day 2, the significant day of the battle, where victory was actually won, there is no interpretive presence down here. There is no cairn, there is no memorial to remember the events that took place that day. So if you're a visitor coming to Stirling looking for a more in-depth analysis of the battle, you're not going to get it here, unfortunately. So wouldn't it be great if we could turn this scrub area behind us into a more accessible platform where both locals and visitors can come down here and appreciate the wider landscape of the Battle of Bannockburn area? I think that would be magnificent. And I'm sure you would think so too. Do you agree? That we could have something down here, a viewing platform, where we could come down and take in this wider environment. And also, the area around us has suffered greatly from urban expansion recently. Industrial units are slowly encroaching onto what is the core of the battlefield area. The bit we're standing on just now is considered greenbelt, but it's always under increasing pressure, isn't it? So I'm sure you would agree with me that we would like to preserve this. In addition to preserving it for the battlefield heritage, just preserving it as a greenbelt area that the locals particularly can enjoy. And if we could make it more accessible to them, that would be fantastic. So that's what Spirit of Scotland 1314 are looking to do. We're raising awareness with your help, so like, subscribe and share these short films. With your help, we can raise that awareness, we can get the story out there to people who can make those decisions, and working with them, we can enhance this and make it such an attractive proposition for tourists who come from all around the world to get the Scottish experience. They want to know about our heritage, our history, what happened in the past, as well as how we present ourselves today. And it's a measure of ourselves, isn't it, to others, how we preserve and look after our past. I'll put the drone up just now, and I'll give you a wider perspective of where we are, and you'll see just how special and significant this area is. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Well, how amazing was that? I am sure you will agree this is an area worth enhancing and preserving, both for its greenbelt credentials and for the amazing history and heritage that exists here in such a small area. So we'll continue with our quest, and as I say, with your support we will continue to keep putting films of interest out there in two parts, to tell the story of the Battle of Bannockburn and also to carry forward our message that we would like to see Day 2 of the Battle of Bannockburn area enhanced and preserved for future generations, for locals and for visitors, and ultimately we would like to see a greater interpretive presence down here so that visitors can better understand the events that took place, and ultimately a memorial, a cairn, something for remembrance for the people who gave their lives here all those years ago for a worthy cause. So thanks for tuning in. Watch out for our next short film, and take care and have a great day. Bye for now.